Hello, everyone, and welcome to this another edition of A Message of Hope. And today I'm with John Countryman, who is a coach, an educator, and now also a gerontologist. Welcome, John.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
And I will ask you the same question. Is the always the same question? Is how does having this three principle understanding? How does that help you with stress, anxiety situations, or COVID? So yeah, how does that help you?
Well, it helps a lot. uh, I think if somebody had asked me that question 10 years ago, my answer would be very different because first of all, I wasn't even familiar with the principles until 2012. So my answer would be very different. But right now, I am always a little bit surprised at the level of equanimity I have given, you know, the 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 things that are swirling around in the world right now. There's some people might describe it as chaos. Some people might uh, think of it as somewhat overwhelming. But I have a different perspective on it, and the perspective comes from my training and my engagement with the three principles for that eight-year period of time, and working with other people who have acquired this understanding and have some grounding in this understanding. So, I mean, primarily, I understand that the things that you're talking about, the pandemic being maybe the primary one, um, are circumstances. And ultimately, circumstances are neutral. And if we can remember the neutrality of our circumstances, we're far less likely to become reactive about them, to recognize that we're always experiencing the feeling of our thinking. And knowing that changes our, our response to what's about us in the world. And so I always tell people that life does not happen to us, it happens through us. It's a big distinction.
Yes.
Um, one of the talks, I guess you would say, that I've appreciated the most, maybe from all of my encounter with the the elders of the Three Principles community, uh, is a talk that George Pransky gave at some point. I think he made a recording of it, something like that. And in the talk, he talks about the relationship of, or the relationship between uh, insecurity and imagination. If we're living with insecurity, it means that we don't have this understanding that I've just described, because our grounding in the principles gives us a certain degree of freedom from insecurity. It's not that we aren't susceptible to it like everyone else because we're human, right? And he says when we feel insecure, the gift of thought, the gift of imagination, which is one of the primary functions of thought, uh, is can be uh, can be misused or misunderstood. And so we're able to create through our imagination all kinds of catastrophizing scenarios about the future.
Mhm.
What's going to happen, that sort of thing. Uh, and I suppose that, it, and if we understand that that's what's going on, if we don't treat this illusion, this movie that we're creating, that we're projecting, if we don't treat it as anything other than something that is our own creation,
Mhm.
then we're going to be, then we're in a much better place, and we can recover from perhaps occasional lapses where we go, oh shoot, I forgot this is how it works. I forgot momentarily how it works. Let me get back to center here. you know and and boy, what a difference that makes, because I used the word equanimity earlier. I think that's what keeps us, our feet on the ground, so to speak, and an ability to navigate, negotiate our way through life with uh, immediacy, spontaneity, responsiveness, adaptability in a way that, well, I know for a fact in my own case, so I'll speak from a personal point of view, I was not that good at it, in my earlier life. Because I didn't get it. I didn't have this understanding as a foundation from which to lead my life. I didn't know that what I was producing through thought, through my imagination, was anything other than, real. I thought it was my reality. Um, and so yeah. So anyway, I really appreciated that particular talk that George gave. I'm a Pransky mentee, he calls them.
Okay.
And that make that there's a couple of wonderful things about that. One is, I always know that George and Linda um, have my best interests at heart and have made a profound difference in my life. But I'm also part of the community of thought leaders and change agents and other coaches um, that he has inspired and cultivated, I suppose would be the word. Um, and it's different than other communities that I've been a part of, because I genuinely feel like I'm part of a family with them. When I think about family, what do I think about? What is family? Family is love, is acceptance, is forgiveness, is um, togetherness, is a bond that it's something that um, if family has been a good experience, and hopefully for people it's been a good experience, it's been a place of safety and sanctuary, and being held, uh, knowing that you belong. All of those things, are a takeaway that I have from my time um, training with the Pranskys and with other mentees and that sort of thing. So I'm just, I suppose in a way I'm giving a shout out to the impact that George and Linda and Barb Patterson and others in that community have had on me. But that's a roundabout way of saying that that's the impact that the three principles have had on me, because um, none of those people are looking for followers or consider themselves gurus. All they're doing is really pointing in a direction that if we look in that direction and we have the insights that can come from doing so, we can live our lives with greater openness and joy, and you know, that's a pretty wonderful thing if we can do that. So I hope that answers your question. It's a
Yes.
I, it's a pretty open-ended question, and I suppose if you ask me tomorrow, you get you get a different answer. But that's also the principles, because you know, what's coming up for a person in the moment is moment by moment what this is all about.
It comes through us, and it's a moment to moment
Yeah,
thing
yeah,
on which
yeah.
we have no control. But it's a moment to moment. And you answered beautifully.
Oh, thank you. Well, it's nice being in the place I am now.
And
Yeah,
if
and
people want to
thank you
find
for
you,
asking the question, and thank you so much for doing what you're doing. I think I love the title of it too, a message of hope. You know, because the world needs hope right now. The world has um, so many uh, uh, things in play at the moment, and there is work that needs to be done. You know, and we can make a difference. And so I'm glad that you're asking that question, and hopefully, to coin a phrase, you are inspiring some hope into people who are watching these videos that you're creating and archiving.
well, thank you for your time.
Absolutely, my pleasure.
And if people want to find you, where can they find you?
Well, I have an email. You know how they say that a website is under construction. You've heard that, right?
Yeah.
But I have an email which is John. This is all lowercase letters. John at storyinglaterlife.com.
Okay. We'll write
Okay,
that down.
write that, and that's where you can find me
Yeah.
if you want to reach out to me. I'd love to hear from people.
Well, thank you for your time.
My pleasure. Once again, Martine, and it's great to get to know you.
Yeah.